All right, everybody, welcome to the playoffs of the ALTTPR League Season 2 here. We have a great matchup today. We've got on one side, you've got the Phendrana Drifters, and the other side, you've got the Titansmiths. Running for our two teams today, we've got on one side, Frostbite3030, representing the Phendrana Drifters, and on the other side, we've got etium, representing the Titansmiths. My name is Dazed Cloud. I am going to be one of your commentators today. I am joined in the booth today by Mercer there. How you doing, bud?
Pretty good. I'm looking forward to this. It's not a elimination game, but it's going to give whichever team wins a pretty big advantage. The other team will have to win both of the remaining games. And
right.
This is actually one of my favorite modes to watch. We've got an Ambrosia seed today.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one here. Ambrosia, for anybody who's brand new, who's never seen one of these today, is a standard sword, casual start there. We're going to get a boots hint from Uncle. And on top of that, every single one of our bosses today is going to have a guaranteed item. So this is going to be a ton of fun to watch.
Yeah, that last one is actually the one that's easiest to forget, but it makes a huge difference, especially in dungeons like Skull Woods or Mire that have a high chest count, but only a couple of actual items. Once you find the first one, you can just head for the boss.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It does change a lot of times how you want to route the seed here, but and we're starting and gonna get our boots hint are in the Death Mountain.
The Death Mountain, huh?
The Death Mountain. So gonna be seeing that pretty soon, and I wonder if the moment we see a glove, if we start seeing some sequence breaking out of these guys. But quick map check there. It looks like that's a red pendant over on Eastern Palace and a red crystal on Desert Palace.
Yeah, and because of that assured sword, we won't get another weapon off of the Uncle necessarily, so just another randomized item here.
Yeah, starting off with just a heart piece. Now, since these guys have probably done these casual starts here more than a few times, I'm expecting them to be trying to shoot for a sub 6 minutes, and that Master Sword will definitely help them.
Yeah, they would really like to find bombs somewhere along the way so they can go ahead and clear out those back 3 chests, but a sword start is not one of the slower ones. It should be pretty good, and the Master Sword is only going to speed that up further.
And nothing from any of the green guards quite yet there. Looks like etium's taking a little bit of extra time to kill those 3 guards on the outside. The prize packs, once they kind of reveal themselves, will let us know if we're going to be finding bombs there. So I expect both of these runners to be paying a little bit of attention there, as etium's not getting any luck with killing these guards yet.
Yeah, one of the ones outside did drop a heart piece, but I don't know the prize packs well enough. I think there's like 2 or 3 packs that start with a heart.
Yeah, heart pieces don't really give us any information there. That could be one of, like, I want to say 5 different packs or something. I'm pulling that completely out of the air, so.
Yeah, I always have to look at those packs in order to do this myself. I don't have them memorized yet.
All right, into the back we go here, and just a couple more heart drops. Gonna have to pick up this first chest, the second chest here. That's 300 rupees, so money's no longer an issue for these runners in the early game.
Yeah, unless an early Zora check's required, that fulfills most of what you need early, even if you need to buy bombs.
All right, so it looks like that might be, if I'm right, I'm not 100% sure I am, but I think there is a bomb drop on the green guards there, but it's very deep in there, so you might have to be killing, I want to say 8 8 of them before you have even a chance of seeing it there. That might take quite a bit of time.
Yeah, and they're really gonna want to see it because with a small key and the map already found, those are all going to be items back there. You're not going to have any dead weight back there where it's only 2 items waiting for you.
All right, we're making our way through the escape sequence here. To give you kind of an idea, for the higher level runners, you're typically wanting to hit the main lobby of Hyrule Castle around about the 4-minute mark. If you're doing that, then you're really doing pretty well of getting through this first set of rooms here. And it looks like Frostbite's going to hit that. Etium's going to be a little bit behind, but he has been farming bombs a little bit more here to do that. So.
And also did a map check. I do not think Frostbite did.
Right, so he's got that additional information that Frostbite doesn't have. Now this is another place that we could hopefully look to find bombs here. Down here in this one narrow passageway. Bunch of snakes here, and they're going to be a completely different prize pack from the rats and the guards. Not finding anything from them either, it looks like. And just 20 rupees.
Yeah, as long as the glove that is logically available is not back here, this isn't the end of the world, but it's annoying.
Okay, no, I do recognize that prize pack on the rats there. This is one of the prize packs that you will get a full 8 bomb pack here if you get lucky. So I wouldn't be surprised to see either of these runners start killing every single one of the rats that they can find, as etium pulls out that 8 bomb pack right there. Frostbite's probably going to be trying to do the same thing, and he gets it as well.
Yeah, that definitely works out. The prize packs are cyclical, so if you kill enough rats, you'll eventually get it. Ooh, and the fire rod is back there. That is a nice prize.
And the moment we get to Skull Woods, that is our ability to go ahead and clear Mothula, so that's a nice thing to find early.
Yeah, it could also be our fire source for a lot of places. Also in logic, potentially Armos Knights if you find a bow or something.
All right, moment of truth time for both of these runners here. Are they just going to favor the traditional Kakariko starter, or are we going to see a save and quit and go down to the South Shore area? Frostbite goes ahead and gets his map check done there, and he's going to go to the Lost Woods, it looks like. Etium's following them. Having played against and watched a few of Frostbite's races there, often he does like to save and quit out of the forest here and go down south. That's usually something he does if he's missing bombs here. Have to see exactly what he chooses to do this time. Etium jumps straight down the hole here, finds himself 10 arrows.
Yeah, I didn't see what was in the mushroom spot, but given how quickly Frostbite left it, I'm assuming it was trash.
Now, Etium will show us here on the other side. That's just a piece of heart, and as fast as both of these runners are, they're not going to waste a whole lot of time picking up anything that is unnecessary.
Yeah, they're already on 5 health as well, which isn't bad for this early stretch of the game.
Moving into our first of the big item areas here in Blind's basement. Frostbite's going to pick up himself a red rupee and a couple more bombs. the flippers, which are very, very nice.
Ooh. And the mirror, that's a lot of our swamp pieces early.
So, who's feeling left side swamp today? Anyone feeling left side swamp? Anyone? No? Okay. So yeah, that's one of those cases here where we might be looking at an early Zora check. There's lots of things to find out. We go moving into the well here. So far, that's some pretty poor prizes there. A little bit more money, and there's a glove.
Yeah, I mean, that's 3 pieces of progression already in Kakariko. That's about as much as you would expect on average. And we've still got several chests here.
Yeah. Now, the big question here is, you know that the boots are up on Death Mountain. Is your next check going to be to sequence break up to the old man and check Spectacle Rock, just to see if you get lucky?
Yeah, so that hint precludes any of the items within Tower of Hera, but you've still got like 11 possible locations for it. I think Mimic Cave is also within that hint, if I remember right.
Yeah, it 100% is. So like, if worst case scenario, it's on Ether Tablet or it's in Mimic Cave. Other than that, all of the other options are open to our runners here, but they're not going to be able to get to the east side of Death Mountain unless you have the hammer or you find yourself a hook shot here pretty soon.
Yeah, I think I do the South Shore play and hope to hit one of those so that you can get a much more high % chance of getting the boots on your first trip.
Yeah, I mean, the other option here is that at the very least you go up there and you get the save point from the old man, and that way you can get back up there faster. It's it's a gamble either way, and in this sort of race, you know, a big play might give you the win.
Yeah, I think it's a defensible play to do it. I just think I would lean the other way. It looks like Frostbite at least is going to do South Shore first.
Yeah, he's going to move down. He's already got the mirror out to erase the block in the dam here, so he only has to go inside once there. Now, funnily enough, this is a rematch of last year's Season 1 of the league here. Etium actually ended up winning that match against Frostbite last year, so I wouldn't be surprised to see either of these runners wanting a little bit of a rematch there, and maybe a little bit of revenge for Frostbite as he picks up the book out of the dam, out of the flooded spot. Sorry.
So the book is interesting. That does give us access to that Ether Tablet, as well as we can walk into Desert, but you're definitely going to try and grab the boots first before going in there.
Yeah, I mean, Desert is looking kind of interesting, and actually Etium is heading towards that direction right now. This is a bit of a play on his side.
I mean, if it's not boots locked, you can clear it. But if it's boots locked, then you know boots are on Death Mountain, barring them being in Mimic Cave to be accessed much later. It'll feel a little silly that you're double dipping it.
Well, he's opening it up right now, and it looks like that is blue goo sitting on Lake Hylia Island there. So Frostbite's going to go ahead and get his flipper checks out of the way, Hobo and the Waterfall Cave, and probably up to Zora with those 500 rupees that he has.
Yeah, so what Etium's doing here could be a really big swing based on this desert layout. You'll find out pretty quick whether it's going to pay off or not.
This first chest will give us all the information that we need. We are not boots locked.
Yeah, we might still logically be boots locked if the small key is there. But no, it's just 20 rupees, which means the other items on Armos Nights, you don't even need to go to the right side because Ambrosia.
It looks like Etium walked in the door and remembered that and is on his way back out. So he's heading right back to Landmolis right now.
Don't know why I got those names backwards, but yes, can just get through with this. Still would have been nice to have the boots because there's a lot of long straight corridors in desert, but if this item is important, it could actually be a nice swing.
All right, this is going to get a quick Ice Rod Cave check over on Frostbite side here. It picks up 20 rupees as Etium is going to make his way back to Landmolis here and going to have to use that Fire Rod to try to do the best he can there with getting as many shots actually on those worms there who don't particularly like to cooperate.
So Frostbite is going to have the money to do the Zora check. Oh, well, hello there. There's our Moon Pearl in the Waterfall Cave.
Making perfect sense there. Now the biggest question is going to be what's the rest of our Dark World access here, as Etium is setting up for this Landmolis fight. Misses the first shot, gets the second one in there. Nicely done. Fire Rod shots on the Landmolis, takes him down, gets a piece of heart, and crystal number 1.
Yes, no huge edge out of going there first, but since it wasn't boots locked, won't lose too much time from it either.
That's a complete shock that Zora doesn't have anything that we want today. Just a piece of heart there for 500 rupees, so the scam fish does live to scam another day. And this looks like this might be that mountain play from Frostbite side.
Yeah, we'll have access to Tower of Hera and 3 of the overworld locations with the Old Man. Old Man's out of logic without the lamp, but that's kind of just a suggestion anyway.
Yeah, because one of those rooms, it's one of those things where none of these runners are going to have too much trouble doing the dark rooms on the way up to the Old Man. This has been done many times in the past by these guys, so they should be just fine here.
Yeah, the more interesting question is, I mean, you sort of have Dark World access through Aga, but without the lamp, that's not your logical access. So do you keep hunting, hoping that you come across the other glove or the hammer instead? Or do you just rush it and trust that you were meant to go that way eventually?
As we're going to get a blue cane from the Old Man here, so Frostbite will be able to check, I want to say, 3 items up here, not including whatever's in Tower of Hera. Now, if he finds the hammer, he'll have full access over to the right side and will probably find the boots. And if he doesn't find the boots after checking all of Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave, then we know that they're in a terrible location.
Yes, although it will be of a specific terrible location at least. Hookshot also will give access over that way. Now, I mean, you can full clear Hera, so you might as well do it. You don't get to do the Hera pot without the hookshot. But...
Oh, now that's an interesting crystal layout right there. Those are 2 pendants on Misery Mire and Turtle Rock today. That was a green pendant over on Misery Mire. And our last red crystal is hiding over in Pod.
So this opens up a lot of really funny possibilities. Number one, we Oh, well, hello. That's a nice location for that hammer.
It looks like Frostbite took like an extra second there to say thank you to the pile of rubble he left over there.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very convenient spot to find that. Does now have access to all of the east side of Light Death Mountain, as well as Dark World access. Not Dark World access up here, but, you know, elsewhere in the world.
Yeah, at this point, you're going to run into the great question of where do you want to start your Dark World access? Do you want to go start in the village, or are you going to go start down at Hype Cave?
And one of the funny things is, if he doesn't find the boots here and they are in Mimic Cave, we now know that Turtle Rock is a pendant and Desert is not boots locked.
That'd be a moment that'll be actually really quite good for etium, because he's already took that desert gamble and went in there beforehand, so he might go, you know what, forget it, I guess I'm not getting boots today. That's not fun, but that's the way it is. Alright, Frostbite's going to go ahead, get his big key out of the vanilla big key chest here in Tower of Hera. He'll make his way up to go fight our good friend Moldorm, see what item he's hiding from us today. Etium, on the other side, will be making his way up to the Scamfish up here and get his great reward of a single piece of heart. For those of you who are kind of wondering how we've set up all of the rules here in the playoffs, each team has 3 members and they are designated by pendants, as Frostbite just finds piece of heart here. The last item will be on Moldorm. The Wisdom players are going to be running Ambrosia Seeds. I believe the Power players get to choose a mode that they are playing, and the Courage players are forced into open modes, I believe, as well. Here now, for game 4 and 5, that's going to be something we'll talk about that towards the end of the seed.
Yeah, these teams are 100% heading for a game 4. Game 5 if necessary.
That is one angry worm who does not want to play nice.
You must have got a poke in there. Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, gonna have to do that again. There's Idiom's giving us the nice little check of the lumberjack there. Just gonna see a piece, not a piece, but a little small shield on there. So we're not gonna be going there.
Yeah, so that was one of our remaining ways that boots could be required, the others being Bonk Rocks or King's Tomb having something, or the GT dictating on the torch.
And Frostbite goes ahead, gets his revenge on Moldorm, just rewarded with just a bloopy. So not excited about that, but will be excited about his first crystal there. Now the big question here is, what item were we supposed to find to get us up to the mountain today? Because sitting over in either Eastern Palace area or on Sasharala right now is going to either be our lamp or our flute today. Oh, found the boots.
Well, could be worse.
That's an interesting dilemma there. So, depending on when you find the Titansmiths, how how quickly are you going to come back up to the mountain and go and get those boots off of there?
I mean, with this crystal layout, you could actually find Titan's Mitts pretty late.
We could have the fabled Titan's Mitts Go mode, which is one of the best things a runner can get in this game, because Titan's Mitts locks so much, though.
I mean, this could be one of the seeds where if Ice Palace's Cane of Samaria locked by logic could matter. Since Turtle Rock and Meyer are both pendants, we might head into GT without it.
Yeah, there's all sorts of
or not, or Frostbite could just find it.
And there's
also,
the
there's
flute.
the flute, so the lamp must be somewhere.
Yep, that means the lamp's somewhere over on Eastern Palace side, likely. Over by Sasharala or something there. So that's we're going to get the items nice and quick today, it looks like.
Yeah, that's actually pretty nice.
And that flute's going to make it really obvious which way we're going to go here, because there's no more of, hey, let's go to Hype Cave first. We're going to go and take care of activating the flute, and then likely go directly into Skull Woods here. You've got, what is that, 9 hearts plus a fairy plus fire rod. I'm pretty sure Mothula is going to be dying in the next like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's not even like, you know, the fighter sword plus hammer fight or something. You've got master sword.
And Sick Kid might give you something better.
You're not going to project to more health.
Yeah, there's 10 hearts. That's just fine.
So yeah, I think Lamp has to either be in Sasrala's closet or in one of the non-dark rooms in Eastern. I don't think there's anywhere else that's not locked by the lamp that we haven't seen.
Now, if you want to get funny right now, you could have something where there's a bow sitting over there in Sasrala's closet right now, and your lamp would be sitting on the Armos Knights. I mean, that's always a possibility.
Yeah, as long as the big key is not vanilla, since that chest is not accessible with the fire rod by logic. Although, again, for these runners, we'll love it.
Neither of these guys are going to go out of their way to go find the lamp. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they probably will grab it because the locations where it is are just locations you're going to grab most likely, unless they're in go mode before they get into the eastern area.
All right, Frostbite takes that first little chest there in Skull Woods, and that means he's going to be heading straight to the back right there. That's one item, so the other item is going to be on Mothula. So so far today, things have been really nice. Desert was a quick and easy check. You didn't have to search for a thing. Man, the game is playing suspiciously nice for these runners so far.
Yeah, the hook shot's really the biggest open question. We're also going to need a bow at some point.
I mean, the hook shot's the one that is I see, as always, there's a little bit of chat in chat there about if our pedestal is alive, and the only thing that I could quite think of that could actually be there would be a hook shot.
Yeah, hook shot or something leading to the hook shot.
Well, yeah.
Like a medallion that's inside or something.
Well, I see, we couldn't even have a medallion.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But like, okay, mushroom or something could be there, and then it leads to the hook shot. But head is very, very life supported right now.
All right, into our extremely fun Mothula fight here on Frostbite's side. Made that look really easy as Mothula goes down, leaves Frostbite 10 arrows, but more importantly, gets his second crystal of the day already at about 28 minutes in. Etium, while we were speculating on other things, he went ahead and finished Moldorm a second ago, is already into Paradox Cave, about to get his bounty of items here, starting from the wrong side, though.
I think it'll be fine. Probably check all of the chests.
Yep, gets his flute, gets his
We are going to get a pet check. I guess we'll find out. Heart piece. No thanks. I guess that's the full heart container, actually, but still, no thanks.
Yeah, that heart container, we're not going to be interested in that at all here. All right, so time for Frostbite to make his way back into the Dark World. Etium's going to probably be getting there at maybe just a second after him.
Yeah, it is kind of amazing how many items this particular pendant layout makes it so we don't really need to worry about.
I think there's a very good chance that GT is absolutely loaded with items that we 100%.
Well, usually if it's, I mean, I'm honestly surprised it's Pendant Turtle Rock. We haven't found the Ice Rod yet. What's going on?
Oh, it's one of those few fun cases where I guess probably there's a Ice Rod right there in the validation chest or something like that. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's good for a laugh. And a small key in the first chest here in Thieves Town. That means there's a good chance we're going to be opening up the big chest here as well. Both of the runners have hammers, so nothing to worry about today. Etium is making his way into Skull Woods. Hopefully he goes directly to the back as well, and he'll be able to do the same sort of fast Skull Woods that Frostbite did, and it looks like he's doing the exact thing. So both runners are going to have just like extremely quick Skull Wood checks today.
Things could break, right? We see, I think it's 3 items away from go mode at this point.
Let's see, that's a bow and hook shot, and what else are we missing there?
Maybe I miscounted.
Oh, poor Etium. He's in such a rush to get back to killing
Titan's bets. Okay, I didn't miscount. I was just went brain dead for a second.
No worries there. Etium is unfortunately not getting lucky here. He ran by the small key that he needs to open up the one door to get to Mothula. So he's gonna have to take a little bit of extra time. This is losing himself, I don't know, say almost close to a minute here between having to walk back and forth. That's gonna be in his head for a little while at least.
It's unfortunate because he was already a little behind anyway. He does have a desert clear over Frostbite. It's not like he's just on his footsteps, but I think Frostbite is slightly ahead.
Yeah, at this point, I'd probably agree with you after doing this little thing, but it's still very early. Like, the seed has been fairly linear, which kind of tracks with a lot of ambrosia seeds that I've played. But you know, it's rando. Things can still go haywire at the drop of a hat. So. Kind of interesting that Etium took a little bit of extra time there to go ahead and pick up the additional heart there. I guess he wants sword beams for Mothula. It can help a lot, but some people really don't like it.
Yeah, you can do the minor glitch where you double up on fire rod shots too. The sword beam, if it's right behind, counts as a fire rod hit. But that was a pretty clean Mothula fight regardless.
And Quake was found in the Maiden's chest over on Frostbite side as ATM picks up crystal number 3, and Frostbite picks up just 20 rupees out of the big chest there. So very nice fight by ATM there. Mothula did not last long at all. The sword beams on Mothula is an interesting discussion there, just because it can make it easier and it can make it harder at the same time, because you never quite know how how Moth is going to take his damage there, because if he bounces into those spikes, he takes nothing. As Frostbite's setting up for his blind fight here. Couple of aggressive little angry swipes there at blind, but that's going to tie us back up at crystals for 3 crystals apiece.
Yeah, fell off the script a little bit at the end there, probably why, but got it down. Didn't really cost too much time.
Alright, now Frostbite wisely remembering that he did not actually clear the rest of the village before he completed Thieves Town, so he's going to go ahead and knock out a couple of these checks really fast here. Alright, Idiom giving us a little bit of new knowledge here is going to go show us what's over on the bumper cave today. That's just 3 bombs, so nothing of interest there.
See what routing Frostbite takes from here. You have to assume that he'll go grab Hype Cave, but from there's a few different options.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Frostbite head down to Hype Cave, then make his way over to the desert area there. Probably check Bombo's tablet on the way, move into desert, and kind of see if he's going to be needing to get those boots sooner than later.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. Bombo's to draw you over there, and then I guess it's 5 items total in the desert area.
And the other reason I say that is because having that flute, you can get back to the eastern pod area pretty easily. Now, if he finds the bow, that might completely change this here. So, but K45 does not have the bow. That just has 50 rupees. But Frostbite, quickly noticing that he does not have enough money for Kiki, goes ahead and picks up the extra money.
Yeah, you don't really want to end up in a situation where you're standing outside of desert on like 98 rupees or something. That's very sad.
It's always good when Kiki just laughs at you and says, "Yeah, good luck getting in." And you're like, "Oh." And Idiom showing us that this Thieves Town layout was a bit unfriendly, as most of the items were hiding in the back, it looked like. So he's going to make his way back and pick up his Quake medallion that hopefully he does not need at all.
Yeah, like the only item in here you desperately hope you don't want.
I mean, if these runners find bombos, they're going to be slightly happy about that because it does make cold stare just a titch easier. Hype Cave is proving to be absolutely worthless.
Yeah, there really weren't that many things that could be there. Any of them would have made it great by themselves. Both would have been great. And instead, it's just, you know, your normal 1 out of 10.
Now, the absolute madman play here, if Frostbite wanted to do that, would be to go into Swamp Palace yet, but...
I think etium might. That's the play I was kind of wondering if either of them would make. Desert makes too much sense for Frostbite, but once etium is on that path, not going to have desert to draw him that way, and it might be a bold play to make.
Bold would be an understatement right there. Like if you go ahead and you make that hook shot less Swamp Palace play, that's one of those that if you're right, you win immediately, and if you're wrong, you lose immediately.
Yeah, but there's not really any like standout great choices for etium once that point comes up.
True. I mean, the biggest thing is we still have not seen over at Saha's closet. We haven't seen what's over sitting in the pod area either. So there's a very good chance that pod will just have all the items that we need as Frostbite gets his information that he has. He doesn't need the boots quite yet.
Yeah, as long as you're willing to glitch pod if it's bow locked, I guess that's fine. But then you're potentially double dipping both. Well, I guess you're not coming back to Eastern if it has nothing. But I don't know. I actually would respect the swamp play a pretty decent amount. But it's definitely a bold move.
Oh, and it looks like Frostbite is remembering. I was about to say had forgotten that there's that the item was on the torch there, so ate a little bit of time walking back and forth there, but ended up going back and seeing the torch and moving on to land Molus there as Etium is in his blind fight there. Looks like he's relatively on script, a little bit off, but takes a couple of extra fireballs, but takes blind down. That's crystal number 4 for him. Frostbite's going to be getting crystal number 4 on his side in just a moment as well. Both runners are neck and neck. And I'd go ahead and say this right now. If you're a fan of Rando here, both of these guys are great follows there on here on Twitch there. If you could, go ahead, give them a follow there as Frostbite kind of smartly remembering that he had picked up that extra key and he doesn't actually need to pick up the key pot there. Just goes ahead and walks right by it.
Yeah, it gets back some of the time. Etium, I think, didn't even go and grab the big chests, so still save time versus Frostbite going back and forth.
Alright, and Frostbite takes down Lanmo there. That is going to be crystal number 4. Both runners are tied up here, and the big question is, what are they going to do next? the Pod Eastern combo seems like the right play for both of them. But there is a chance we see something crazy.
I guess Frostbite's gonna check out the old man's cave while over here, but yeah, they're both out of clearable crystals, and in fact, also out of clearable pendants. So it's much more open to basically just picking somewhere and taking a gamble.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see really fast just basically what's the time difference between these two runners here. Frostbite has basically Hype Cave checked over etium, and he's got Stumpy checked. Bombo's tablet as well, right?
Yeah, Bombo's tablet's actually probably more time consuming. Is Frostbite making? Well, no, this is a swamp play, isn't it? This is not how you would go to Pod Eastern.
I'm kind of curious that he's went this way as well instead of fluting over to 5, but it looks like he's maybe he's going to do the pyramid. This probably is a pyramid play before going up to the pod area. All right, we're gonna get a pyramid check over from Frostbite here. Etium getting his extremely underwhelming hype cave, and yeah, these guys are basically almost equal at this point. As I guess Etium is gonna make that Bombo's tablet play here. Not a bad time to do it here. There's very few other times where this is really easily accessible.
Really the only nearby checks are turning in the purple chest, which requires the mitts, and swamp-ish.
All right, so into pod on Frostbite's side here. First, he's going to take a quick stop and check to see what exactly Sasharala has been hiding here.
Yeah, I'm guessing we find our lamp here rather than an eastern, but could be in either. Or we find the shovel. I guess the dig spot is possible.
Yeah, so there's our lamp. Probably our lamp is hiding underneath the water, and oh my.
I like it. Especially etium may feel behind because of a couple of the small execution slip-ups. Making the early desert play. I kind of like this. And we're definitely it's probably game swinging one way or the other.
Yeah, that's the thing with this. This is an aggressive play. If it works out for him, it's gonna be a massive advantage, because this is usually the last thing that a runner will do. Because going into swamp without the hook shot hurts if you're not right.
Could be worse. Could be swamp without the hammer.
Swamp without the hammer's not that bad because it's fast, but yeah, we're gonna take a look here. Either way, this has got very interesting very quickly here, as Frostbite's gonna make his way into pod here, and I don't know if he has a potion there to sequence break over to the right side.
You can do the mimic clip. It's not a lot of fun. I don't know how good Frostbite is at that particular clip.
Yeah, that's one of those that I think we'd have to ask one of his teammates there to comment if he knows how to do the mimic clip there. That's not simple tech.
I would assume he knows how to do it. Oh, there's our lamp.
Mitts are in Eastern.
Yeah, I was just like, hang on, what? Well, they're in the dig spot, but
Or that's true. That's true. They could be at the dig spot. That's massive knowledge there on Frostbite's side there. That's going to give him a real sizable advantage there, because as long as he figures that out, he's gonna be very happy with that.
it took me a minute there to think through all the permeations of that particular piece of logic. I was so assuming that it would have to be in Eastern somewhere. So logically, our Dark World access was not that hammer, it was our mitts.
But, you know, like I always say, logic is for suckers.
Well, the reason to track it is so that you know that the mitts are you know, in a very small number of locations.
Right. Okay, for those to answer the question there, the reason that we know that mitts are either in Eastern or the shovel spot is that lamp was in pod. That means that the Dark World access that our runners got, they got it from basically a sequence break up onto Death Mountain. They were supposed to have the lamp to be able to go to Death Mountain today. So if they're following the logic, they know that the mitts are somewhere in the light world that they have not checked yet.
Yeah, because Aga Tower is also logically locked behind the lamp. The flute was up on Death Mountain, so it was locked behind the lamp. So finding that lamp in Dark World actually gives you a lot of information, even though the lamp itself is not really that useful.
Right, and this also means that there's a chance at this point that the hookshot can be locked behind the boots that were available to that, and as it was written, there are your mitts.
Yeah, that's also going to be an ice palace clear here, I'm guessing. Yeah.
It makes sense to go ahead and get this done real fast, as etium unfortunately has gone all the way through to the left side and didn't find anything that he needed, so he's going to be moving on to pod right now, and I think the moment he sees that lamp, he's going to go, oh no.
Yeah. Even with that being said, I think it's going to put him at a severe disadvantage here, but I still like the play. Not that they know exactly where each other is, but I think if etium had stayed on Frostbite's heels the whole game, probably would have lost by a couple of minutes, whereas that play gave him a chance to make up ground. But it's going to be tough here, and Frostbite's probably going to need to make an error, or etium's going to have to find one of our remaining items somewhere obnoxious.
The biggest thing is we're looking at where is our hookshot and where are our bows. That's the biggest thing. Is I think the hookshot is the one that is likely to even things back up again. Etium deciding to go up to Catfish. Now this is also another play right here that could very, very quickly change the complexion of this race.
Yeah, we're going to get the still relatively new Icebreaker glitch out of Frostbite, making your ice palaces much, much shorter.
I've never seen the menu switch over there for the icebreaker there. Not sure if it saved a whole lot of time, but gets it no problem, looked like. gets a big key there. And if I'm not mistaken, we got a small key in the first chest, so that means we're not hookshot locked out of Ice Palace either. So unfortunately, Etium not finding anything from the catfish either, so he's going to have to make the play that he's probably not overly happy about making right now.
Yeah, the best case I think here for Etium is that Frostbite goes into Swamp without a bow. There were multiple items on left side Swamp, so that will draw Frostbite out if he has the full clear. He gets back the time that Etium's invested, or at least some of it.
How do you feel about an ice rod? How do you feel about a Trinex having your hookshot today? Because that just opened up.
Not great.
And there's our ice rod in Ice Palace. Fantastic. Frostbite has gone ahead and found both items in Ice Palace. That means the third item is going to be sitting on Cold Stare. It's going to make a beeline right there. Etium is about to make his way into Pod and finally get his information of where the mitts are likely to be. Frostbite choosing to use a combination hammer strats and spin strats here with the puffs there. Doing a good job of keeping them off of him right early. Takes 2 puffs down pretty quick.
Needs to be a little careful here now into a bit of a danger zone, but gets it down. Those vertical hammer hits in particular are kind of terrifying. The hammer's hitbox is much safer horizontally than it is vertically.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to hammer up typically. It's not an easy thing, but Frostbite takes him down there. That's going to be crystal number 5 for him. Got a little hairy there at the end, but ended up pulling it out. Gets a save and quit there. That's a little surprising with the mirror and the flute, but I guess he wants those boots.
Yeah, you get a few other Dark Death Mountain checks with that. I guess you have a pretty good chance of being able to go into Turtle Rock if you want to. Do you want to?
Do I want to? No. Probably would I? Yes. Now this is Etium is getting a pretty, does have this one little advantage over Frostbite, is that since he's got this blue potion, he's going to be able to go ahead and just, he might have gone too far to the left. Nope, he's okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I was worried about the same thing, but he did get it.
All right, so he's going to use the bottle, just the super easy bottle glitch there to go ahead and get these 2 chests now. I believe there's at least 1 item on this side, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, well, the key, which isn't bad.
Alright, so I guess that will give Etium the chance to open up the big chest there. So if there is a bow or some sort of other hook shot or something in there, then we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, the bow-locked bow is a real thing. I've seen that in Pod more times than I care to count.
Now, if the seed wants to be really funny on Frostbite's side here, it's going to give him the boots here in just a second on the floating island, and then he'll have to come back into the into Hookshot Cave, to get the hook shot out of the one chest that you can bonk to. But we'll have to see if the seed actually feels like being funny. Luckily, Frostbite's remembering that, oh yeah, I guess this is something I have to think about now.
Yeah, it's certainly possible that it's right here. But nope, just some cash.
Alright, and Etium picks up his blue mail. He's got his lamp as well, so he should know that the mitts are just going to be sitting in Eastern Palace. Or at least somewhere in the light world for him. Oh no.
Well, now we definitely have the option.
Yeah, that was probably the last thing that Frostbite wanted to see right about there. That gives him that fun option we were talking about of, do you want to go into Turtle Rock? Because now you can go into Turtle Rock.
It's like the answer is want might be strong, but gonna.
Yeah. This is one of those cases where now this game is wide open because this could just be bait, and this is very, very tasty, but also quite possibly poisonous bait on Frostbite's side here. If he grabs the bow or the hook shot out of here, then
this is interesting. It looks like Etium's continuing in Eastern for the second item. Frostbite ditched out right away after getting mitts. We know without the bow, the third item will be unobtainable because it's on Armos Knights. But
yes, you're definitely right there. Like I kind of like what Etium's doing here. That additional check there, it's probably nothing, but if it's what he's looking for, it's great.
It's nothing, but at least it was the first possible check, so it gets out quickly.
That's one less thing for him to think about.
All right, so coming up, Frostbite has one of the hardest tricks in the entire game. Remembering that you don't have the hook shot and you need to push down right here. Oh, gets it.
Success. Okay, he gets to ride around in a circle. Do this. Now, I see Etium's doing the exact same thing. Part of me is wondering, you get up here, if you're feeling behind, as I would imagine Etium probably is after that swamp play, do you go ahead and maybe grab your boots and say, you know what, I'm gonna go to Mire instead, because there are just as many checks available to me in Mire as clearing all of Turtle Rock. I'm kind of referring to the entire Mire area.
Yeah, it's still one less item total. You got 5 total out of the Mire area, counting Checkerboard Cave. And TR gets you 6 with Mimic Cave.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm kind of thinking about is you probably know that I would imagine he thinks there's a good chance Frostbite went into Turtle Rock, as Dead Rocks are just killing Etium today. Twice in a row there.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is the true sign that you are done with these Dead Rocks.
That was fantastic there. Somebody clip that. All right, now Etium's just got the news that, oh great, Turtle Rock is Bombos. I don't need to do it.
Well, you know, actually, Etium's going to be less tempted by Turtle Rock. I didn't think about this. Doesn't have the Ice Rod.
That's true. That's a very, very, very true statement right there.
Yeah, it's only one less item, and you don't need to clear Turtle Rock, so you're not having that double dipping. But it's one more factor. It does actually even up the count for just heading over to Mire, and the Mire items are going to be a lot quicker for some of them.
All right, so we're going to go into Mimic Cave over on Frostbite's side, and Etium is about to pick up his great Bombos medallion and see what he does with it.
Yeah, it's going to be better for him. Well, you probably... I guess you might walk out into the mirror and flute if you're going to leave. Have magic. I'm not going to complain about it, but not actually one of the two items we need.
I am watching Idiom's screen here with bated breath. I want to see what he's doing here, because if he comes, that's a bow. That's pretty big, and looks like he's considering a hover.
Yeah, I admit I can't hover. I don't think that you're supposed to do it in the middle of a platform and then dash off the side. Ooh, this doesn't look like Turtle Rock, though. This looks like Spike Cave.
Now, that one bow that Frostbite found, that might not be the only bow available there. There are two, so Idiom could find a bow in a different location here and get himself basically in a decent position, but there's a very good chance that that other bow is sitting somewhere in Turtle Rock, though. I mean, not Turtle Rock, but GT.
Yeah, or it's just blocked by that bow in some way. On Armo sense or whatever.
Yeah, one of the changes to V31 for a couple people asking here is that we do have progressive bows there. The first bow just gives you bow, and then if you find the second one, you get your silver arrows now.
Yeah, allegedly a change that was made to reduce the number of bow hunt go modes that there would be, and yet they still seem to happen all the time.
Idiom taking a brief second here to go in and pick up a couple of potions there. Now he's looks to be skipping out on Turtle Rock completely.
Yeah, I mean, hasn't done ice yet, so it wouldn't surprise me if he starts there, and it looks like he is.
Frostbite having to do the super fun hammer Trinex fight.
Yes, Frostbite just looking for that hook shot now. Nice use of the hammer there to go ahead and put down
Trinex there. Idiom making great use of that Quake medallion. As Frostbite's rewarded with the single arrow and chooses not to even pick up the pendant.
Yeah, knows that Pet is dead, so there's not really a reason to pick it up. It's not the green pendant that's over in Mire.
And that's a good bit of game knowledge right there, knowing to save and quit before picking that pendant up there, because all that pendant would have done for Frostbite would just play himself a good, like, 15 to 20 second fanfare. And that's just time he sits there and does nothing. So instead, he's out of there, and he is back into pod to go ahead and clear out the rest of this crystal.
Idiom's setting up for this Frostbreaker. Or Icebreaker. I don't know why I call it Frostbreaker.
we've got some guy on the other side of the screen called Frost, and we've
That's
got Ice.
Probably it.
So much of that there. Gets it through there and picks up his other key. All right, so we're getting into that fun time of where is our hook shot today, because that's what we're needing for go mode.
Yeah, Etium's also going to have to either get into Turtle Rock or find wherever the other bow is.
Now, the biggest question is going to come up here. Say, at what point would Frostbite make a similar sort of Swamp Palace play that Etium made earlier there? I imagine he'll be doing Mire first, but I kind of wonder if he gets to as far as the Smith chain, if at some point he's going to go, maybe do I need to make that play or not?
It'd be interesting to see, depending on what gets found here on Helmasaur. Might see an Eastern clear. There's still 2 items in there for Frostbite, although we know one of them is a useless heart piece.
And Etium has gone ahead. He's picked up both of his items. He's going to make his way back to Cold Stare. He'll have I don't know if a easier fight is right there, but he'll be able to use bombos to break open Cold Stare's shell, and then he'll have a couple of fire rod shots available to him.
Not only will be able to, we'll actually have to, unless he wants to pop one of those blue potions.
Now, the other thing that's this pod play for Frostbite's going to open up is the Pyramid Fairy is going to now be in Logic. And very nice fight over on ATM side there. That's going to be crystal number 5.
Let's see where he goes from here. Kind of expect Mire.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Frostbite just had Helmasaur just play nice for him and just sit there and take 8 arrows right to the jewel. That's crystal number 6 on his side, so he's got a 1 crystal lead, but that hook shot is still very much not obvious to these runners here. There's nothing really giving it away.
Yeah, there's also a lot of just kind of irritating checks left. Mitts and boots becoming available kind of late. Gives you King's Tomb, Graveyard Ledge, all that stuff you can route in together at least.
And both of these runners have all of the medallions, so don't need to be checking exactly what is available there. And there's a Tempered Sword.
I'm definitely not going to mind that, especially if you end up doing Silverless Ganon.
All right, you're going to get a quick checkerboard cave check over on Etium's side. And hookshot's not there either.
Okay, so Etium is not going to go into Mire proper, just does the overworld checks.
And neither is Frostbite.
Well, you'd have to go all the way to Vitreous for one of the items, and I don't really blame you for ditching out. Those 3 were definitely the quick ones.
I mean, that's definitely something with Ambrosia. Is that makes dungeons like Mire and Desert Palace a little bit less tempting. Just because you know that one of your items has to be on the boss here. So Etium's going to do the boots checks, while Frostbite's going to go ahead and do the Pyramid Fairy. One of these might have it. Etium striking out with his first check there in Bonk Rocks is just getting a heart container. I am looking suspiciously at the Pyramid Fairy here because that would just kind of track with the logic that we've seen so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, if this were the other bow, that would be a big deal for Frostbite. It wouldn't really help him, but it would mean Etium needs to go to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting watching the metagame kind of play out here as Etium strikes out again there with 10 arrows. Frostbite gets his red mail and just a red rupee there, so he gets to look a little bit cooler, but that's about it so far.
Yeah, that's not the final upgrade that's supposed to be in there. And so our runners both find disappointment.
So where to now, guys? Are we gonna? Is Frostbite? This is looking like the Smith chain, and Etium looking like he's doing the exact same thing as well.
And this could also be the exact Graveyard Ledge Bonk Rocks check that we just saw from Etium.
Oh, and you're right there. Alright, get a quick bumper ledge check. And that's right, Frostbite had not checked the Lumberjack yet. He's going to get good information there that it's only a shield that neither of these guys want. Etium on the other side will be able to knock out these three checks here relatively quickly. And best case scenario for him is he finds Hookshot, gets to Swamp Palace really quickly, and finds the second bow sitting in the back of Swamp Palace.
Yeah, or just finds the bow and the Hookshot.
Oh, that could be it too. And Chad is bringing up a good point. Neither of the runners have checked Shovel yet. And unfortunately, it looks like our Smiths today are just giving away a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, they just want to cut first.
You give them 10, we'll give you 300. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that's not very helpful for Etium. Is this going to be... Okay, going to the dig spot.
All right. Well, this is going to be an interesting little check here because he's starting to run out of options here. So at some point, he's either going to have to go, fine, I'm going into Turtle Rock, or fine, I'm going into Mire, because that's a red rupee.
Huh. That was interesting. I'm not sure how he ended up not picking that up. Looks like he'd rather do Mire.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think this is probably a little bit of metagaming. Kind of thinking that, you know what, Frostbite probably went into TR. That's it. I'm going into Mire, and if I'm right, yay, I win. And if I'm wrong, well, I was probably behind anyway.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, if he does find the hookshot here, it still isn't game over by any means, because he'll still need to find a bow.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is Frostbite might decide to go to Meyer before going to before doing the Smiths. I gonna see here. He's pulling out the flute. I don't know exactly where he's gonna head up to. He's gonna go do the Smiths first, it looks like.
Yeah, but he's starting to run out of possibilities.
Yeah, and I'm kind of racking my brain here. I'm feeling like there is a very good chance that we're gonna find something either here in Meyer or on that green pendant.
Yeah, could also be on Armos Knights still.
Which, to be honest, would just be mean. But
yeah, it also means Etium just can't do it without going up the Turtle Rock first if the other bow isn't available.
treating those chickens with the disdain that they deserve there on Frostbite's side.
I don't remember if you can get swarmed in the Dark World with the chickens or not. I've yet to see anybody accidentally trigger that in Rando, but it mostly because it takes a lot of hits on the chickens to trigger the swarm.
Kind of want to try now. It's been so long. Alright. Etium is just found the big key, and he's going to make his way. He's going to hope that he doesn't have to do the cutscene chest, so he's on his way over to the right side of Meyer to hopefully find the single item that's sitting here for him. And, oh, is Frostbite doing the thing that No, this is a shovels check. Okay. I was about to say, I was going, oh god, he's not going to run into swamp, is he?
It's not impossible he does it right after this.
Yeah, I mean, because Misery Mire is... It's only 2 items, and Swamp likely has more. And, man, this is a Misery Mire that is not friendly either. Making the probably much smarter play. It looks like he's headed into Meyer as well.
Yeah, deeply unfriendly layout for Meyer, particularly for this one item that we know isn't on the boss.
Yeah, this has been... I mean, for as many items as we got, things got very... What's the word I'm looking for here? Very tight very quickly here. This hookshot has just...
Oh, wow! That is the perfect item for Etium to find.
Okay, that changes the game 100% there. Okay,
so it
Frostbite's...
is possible that Etium, if like Vitreous has the hookshot, both our runners are going to enter go mode, and Etium is gonna be in a much better position on that point of view. Now he's still behind on crystals,
right.
Not having done pod yet, but it's a lot better than he was in a minute ago.
Yeah, because I mean, he's gonna be a pod clear back, which is, I mean, roughly that's maybe, I'd say like 2 minutes to work your way back to Helmasaur, but that is very, very big. And the other point, yeah, people are bringing this up in chat that Frostbite might decide that Swamp Palace is where his hookshot is, because if you're gambling the one item on Armos versus the possible couple of items in Swamp Palace,
Yeah, the calculus changes a little bit. Frostbite has 2 items in Eastern, did not go into the second. Etium only has 1 left in Eastern, but Etium's going to be over that way for Pod. So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be really interesting here. I actually think it's going to be a pretty close race if this is the hook shot, because this Meyer layout is awful.
Yeah, I mean, that bow was a huge find for Etium, and yeah, we're going to be definitely heading over to Eastern because this is our green pendant as well. So Sasharala might have that hook shot as well. Man, just a massive swing in just with one item.
Yeah, I mean, silvers are certainly, nice for Frostbite. It's not like this is a total waste of time. But if Etium manages to never go into Turtle Rock, that's huge.
That basically equals up that swamp play immediately. Wow. Now, there is one more thing that we probably should mention here is that Frostbite is going to have silvers regardless. Now, Etium will 100% not have silvers.
Well, I mean, he might still do Turtle Rock because he's still going to be looking for this hook shot. But if he finds silvers, then that's going to get back all of that time, and that's not good for him.
Well, yeah, if he does Turtle Rock, I mean, that's pretty much game over. And there's a hook shot. Okay,
so this is going to be interesting. Will Frostbite head straight there to turn that in? Because Etium had, the pod clear to draw him into that turn in right away. I think Frostbite probably does. But there's not a lot to combine with it.
Yeah, I mean, so we're at basically 124.30. That puts Etium into go mode. The Meyer play was 100% the right play today. And like you mentioned, that big question is, what is Frostbite going to do next? If he heads over here to check this green pendant,
which probably will, then I think he's slightly ahead. Especially the silvers are an advantage. Tempered Sword closes that sum. Since it'll only be 12 silverless hits instead of the 24 for Master Sword.
Right. I mean, it's going to be a big deal because, I mean, I know Etium can do a silverless cannon fairly quickly, so there's a difference, but it's probably something closer along the lines of like 30 seconds versus like minutes by any means.
Yeah. This is gonna be interesting. Now, of course, Pod's already clear on Frostbite's side, so just needs to go turn this green pendant in and then head to Swamp. I guess there's a couple of switches that Etium won't have to reflip within Swamp.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing. Etium is going to have a faster Swamp Palace. He's not going to have to wait for a couple of those cutscenes to go. Frostbite making the right move. He's making the right move, and he's headed directly to Sasharala to get his hook shot there. Wow, what a roller coaster there. For a while, it did kind of look like Etium was well behind, but with this,
a break with both the bow location and then the hook shot being somewhere along the path before going back into TR.
Yeah, with this, that's going to be Etium's 6th crystal, and they are both headed to Swamp Palace as we speak. Frostbite's maybe got 30 seconds on Etium now.
Yeah, Etium's going to have to make up some time in order to have that extra time he'll need on Cannon. But this is a lot closer for them, and GT Big Key routing could be really important.
That GT Big Key could be the difference today. That's going to be That's going to be a very interesting Ganon's tower climb here. Now, both of these guys have enough health and enough potions and fairies and everything else to make this a to make that climb probably fairly easy. But man, this is far from over here. Now, we're going to get to see how much of a difference this one cutscene here in Swamp Palace makes. Since Etium was in here earlier, he's not going to have to run up and do any of this. He'll be able to walk directly in, so they might be equal walking through these next couple of rooms here.
Yeah, it doesn't have to pick up any of the keys in the first couple of rooms either. I don't think they're equal. I think Frostbite's still a little ahead within Swamp, but it's going to be close-ish. Yeah, they're literally in the same room, and Frostbite's going to leave it before.
This is about as sync as you can almost get here, honestly.
Yeah, like if you're... I always forget about Diver Down for a minute. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, who's going to have the cleaner Diver Down? That's the question here. It looks like both of them did fine.
Oh, right. Etium doesn't have silvers, so I guess just in case.
Yeah, that's going to give a little bit of time back to Frostbite there. Alright, gets to the dash through, and Frostbite's into Argus already, and Etium is right on his tail. Looks like Frostbite was going for the zero cycle there, and it kind of got all mangled there. Looks like both runners are going to end up with a single cycle here. Frostbite got this double. The anger on Frostbite's side there, that might actually be a bad thing for Frostbite, because he's gonna have to refill that magic bar.
No, yeah, I mean, I guess it's a little bit of time, but you know.
That gave the time back to Etium, though. We're talking about seconds for both of these runners here, so I mean...
Yeah, it's really the big difference. Half magic's nice and all, but the big difference is going to be those silver arrows. So Etium is going to need an advantage in routing or something to make it up. But 1 through 22, y'all know the drill if you've been doing this a while.
Wait, everybody. Please wait for just a second. All right, now go. Oh, we don't have the bot. Never. Oh, we do. There's the bot. All right. Yeah, get your guesses in between 1 and 22 for where do you think that big key is. We're going to go by whoever gets into GT first, and is that going to be Etium, I think. We're going to count by whoever opens the room first. These guys
Although there's still time to get deadrocked.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. Etium had a lot of fun with those dead rocks here a second ago. See if they're nicer this time.
There you go.
And Frostbite gets the dead rock today.
Not the worst one though. Able to just bump through there. It circles the portal for a couple seconds there.
Yeah, Mercer, I didn't ask you there, but do you have a guess for the big key?
I'm gonna go with 3 and put it on the torch by the routing that I always end up using. I have no idea which way they'll route it, and it'll depend. It looks like we are going to be going by etium's route.
I'm going to say 1 just because let's be nice and let these guys fly up the thing there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think if it is actually like super friendly and they take the same route, then Frostbite is going to be pretty advantaged by those silvers, but still lots of room for execution problems, and they're both at least starting with the hope room. And they're both going to be forced left. There's no smoky here, so no difference.
Oh, and here comes that. This is going to be one of those possibly terrible decisions of, all right, should I? Oh, never mind.
3.
Never mind what I was going to say. Both of these guys can just go immediately to the top of the tower. Their etium's got maybe a 5-second lead on Frostbite right now, but oh man.
Yeah, that's probably bad for etium in some degree. The silvers are going to be a big difference at this point, but Frostbite needs to execute well throughout.
All right, and winner of the big key game today was, I would say, Ma7Rs or Mars there. Congratulations there on winning that. You can go ahead and throw a command in the chat there if you want to check out the leaderboard, see where you stand. Yeah, and as we've mentioned here, the big difference between these two runners who are in the same room together is Frostbite has silvers, so his Ganon's fight will be much quicker. Now, if we start seeing some Moldorm falls or something like that, things can change really quickly.
Worth mentioning there, if either of them had skipped out on boots, which given the hunts that we did, that probably wasn't going to happen anyway, it would have punished them severely there.
Oh, yeah. Those boots were 100% required to get. And it's kind of funny, if both runners had followed the logic of this seed, they would have had boots super early. Or they would have, if they had at least followed the, maybe not the logic, but the intended Dark World access.
Yeah, and hilariously, part of the reason they probably didn't had to do with that boot sent about the boots being on Death Mountain.
All right, neither runner got the 0 cycle here.
Yeah, that's one stretch of both of them actually having kind of bad landing.
I mean,
getting it.
These guys know who they're playing. Their nerves have got to be real. Etium taking just a second there to pop a blue potion.
Yeah, you want to have magic for these rooms. They're much quicker with Kane.
All right, the winner of this race will give his team the ability to choose Well, okay, the winner of this race. Let me try that again. The winner of the race there gets to veto one of the mode checks that the losing seed gets there. Sorry, I'm all excited now, and I
think that's based off of the seeds coming into this. I don't think that's based off of who has the lead in the series.
All right, no worries. That's what I meant to say. It's so I guess the
they will have a 2-1 lead. So.
Right, the winner gets a 2-1 lead. Let's just go with that. All right, and they enter the Moldorm 2 fight at the exact same time here.
Yeah, which is to Frostbite's advantage again because of the silver arrows. And they're both going to leave it at the same time as well. But looking for those silver arrows, etium finds 10 arrows.
It's not going to matter anymore from here on out. It is pure execution and pure, basically kind of pure AGA luck here, as it looks like Frostbite gets a double off of his first. Looked like Etium got a double off of his as well.
Yeah, both of them got singles there, it looked like. That was a nice double from Etium.
Yeah. All right, and AGA is down on Frostbite's side and is down on Etium's side as well there. Both of them are right of they're going to be going at the exact same time to again in here. This is some impressive sync.
It is, and it's gonna last until phase 4 again, and then it's gonna not be great for Etium, I'm afraid.
Likely, but we'll have to see here. All right, we got some bacon facts there from Gannon, and we're into this. We got to get a few hits in there. Frostbite not even going for the 1-1. Etium went for it, didn't quite get it, so we're going to be exact on both of the cycles here. So
yeah, they'll get the same teleports as well during phase 3, so no chance of that kind of messing up one of the runners.
That was a very nice placement there for on the second phase for Gannon.
Yeah, so Frostbite just needs to avoid being getting into phase 4 here.
Yeah, if he can avoid a fire bat to the face there, he should be okay. And that will do it.
Yeah, it's a good game on Frostbite's side as Etium sets up into Silverless.
Yeah, get your GGs into chat there for Frostbite. That was a fantastic match there as Frostbite finishes with an SRL time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 11 seconds there. And if you're wondering what Etium is doing there, he has. Well, it looks like he's finishing it out here in the SRL. Okay, never mind. I guess in the SRL room he did go forfeit, but I think he missed the torch glitch, and that might be the reason why.
Yeah, it's a really exciting finish to the race there. Those items in succession kind of open the door back up for Etium. There's no difference in items here. Let's get him at the end. Oh, he's out of magic.
Does he have? He's got one more potion though.
Okay, I thought that was his last potion. Oh no!
No. Well, we are joined in the room right now by Frostbite. Frostbite here. Go ahead and get your GGs into chat there for Etium. He's put it. You know, he gave it his all for sure there. Frostbite there, bud. GGs.
Yo, thanks, Dave. That was fun. I mean, it's always fun when you play this game, right? So it was interesting. Like,
how much? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Ask me the question. I'll rant for 1 second. So, you know, like back in like the mid '90s when you went to a movie and there was that sound like that started at the beginning. It was like the Dolby 3.0. that is the exact noise that went off in my brain when I found the lamp in Pod, because like I'm assuming etium, I assumed it was the lamp in Eastern Palace, and when it was the myths in Eastern Palace, I was just having these horrendous flashbacks to the playoffs match that we had last time, where it was the opposite, where the myths were free and it was the hammer that was in Sphere 1 Eastern Palace. It wasn't logically blocked the way it was now. But I was very worried at that point, and then yeah, I mean, I feel like I played pretty good. I checked basically every spot in the game except Spike Cave. And yeah, it was just it was super rude. That hookshot was ridiculous. I mean,
yeah, no, it was a crazy match to watch there. Super exciting all the way up. You guys were literally in the same room pretty much the entire GT climb there, and we're joined in the booth right now by Etium there. Hey, GG's there, bud.
Yo, GG's Frost.
Hey, GG's Etium, awesome run. Yeah, we were talking about it in the IRC channel because we, he stopped when I finished, and then we were watching the GT climb, and it was crazy because it was literally room for room, and it was basically like the silvers that I pulled out of TR, and boy was I mad when I found the second bow in Meyer, because I figured, oh my god, if he just avoided TR, I'm in big trouble now. But yeah, it sounds like it was the foray into swap that sort of brought me that time back, because that's a brutal play. I'm assuming you did it without the boots, I'm assuming, as well? Or?
Yeah, I didn't have the mitts or anything.
Yeah, exactly. I thought about going in there super hard right before I checked Bombo's tablet, but I just couldn't pull the trigger with the Pod Eastern area all still available.
Yeah, I just hate going into Pod Eastern without the bow. So I was like, you know what, this feels like a seed where a swamp dip is reasonable. Just didn't work out this time, but
yeah, for sure.
I still could have. Yeah, I still could have caught up, but before doing Meyer, I did a whole bunch of overworld checks. I basically full cleared the overworld, and yeah, and basically at the end there, I had either Meyer or Turtle Rock left, and that was it. And I felt pretty behind, so I chose Meyer. If I felt ahead, I would have gone TR as well.
Yeah, I did TR before I did my overworld cleanup, because like when I found the myths, I didn't go get the boots right away, because like I kind of wanted to, like, I just figured I'll full clear ice. I'm not going to lose that much time by not having the boots. Maybe I pull up the hook shot out of here or something like that. And I ended up with the ice rod. And so I went up there, and then, you know, I kind of was annoyed because I couldn't go into TR, because my whole plan was to go into TR after I found the boots. And then, of course, Bombo's medallion was right in Super Bunny Cave, so I ended up going into TR. But then the first thing I did after that was I fluted to the Meyer area, and I checked Meyer Shed, and I checked Checkerboard Cave. And the whole time I was doing that, I was like, do I just go in now? Do I just go in now? But then I had the Smiths left, I had Bumper Ledge, the two boots checks, Graveyard Ledge, Catfish. Like I had like around 8, a shovel spot, like I had like 8 or 9 overworld checks that I figured would take me about the same time as clearing Meyer, so I did those as well. I think it made sense.
Yeah, that was a fun seed though. There was lots of decision points, but it started off looking really like a jet seed. It was just like, oh, here's 4 crystals you can full clear immediately, and then it turned into a hunt for the mitts, and then a hunt for the hookshot and bow. But yeah, it was still a fun seed. I mean, could have gone either way. If the silvers hadn't been in TR, this might have been a different race.
It would have been super close. I mean, to say like it wasn't super close, but no, for sure. I feel like, you know, this is going to be one of those races that if I go back and I look, I'll be able to find like 5 or 6 things where it's like, if that had gone a little different for me, maybe I could have been a little more ahead than I was. Maybe I could have been a little bit more behind it. I'm sure you'll feel the same way, right? Like, you know, you think if I hadn't gone into Swamp, I win for sure. I'm thinking if I hadn't gone into TR, I win for sure. It's not even a question. But just the way it broke down, we ended up going into GT at exactly the same time, picking the same route, and just holding hands for the rest of the run, basically. So
yeah.
But no, that was super fun. Super fun to watch back too. Just the ending, I mean, of course.
Oh, I recommend greatly both of you go back and watch that, because you guys were very, very close throughout the first, like, I'd say 4 crystals. Like, Etium goes to desert first. He finds out that it's not boots locked and stuff like that.
Yeah.
First, but other than that, you guys did exactly the same things pretty much. And it wasn't until the swamp play there, Etium, that things really started to change. What were your ideas going into swamp?
I mean, it was either that or Bolus Pod, Bolus Pendant Eastern. And I just felt like, you know what, I'm already in the area. It's not that... Actually, before I went in, I was like, oh yeah, I can dive her down. And then I remembered, no, you can't do that without the hook shot. You need to grab the key first. So then I was like, oh. But at that point, I was already in swamp. I'm like, okay, I got to full clear this anyway. Or the front, at least.
I mean, that was the thing. We were me and Mert discussing whether or not either of you would do that, just because it's like you mentioned there. You're either going into bowless, pod, or you're going into hookshotless swamp, and it was just kind of going, well, none of those sound amazing. But I was kind of glad that both of you chose different options there, just because it made for such an interesting thing. And man, that bow in Mire must have felt pretty nice.
Yeah, I was saying, if I find the hook shot in the front of Mire, I'm not doing Vidi, because that gives me a whole bunch of stuff I can clear, like Hookshot Cave, back of Swamp. But if I found the bow, that only opens up the back of Pod and Eastern, just 2 items. So I figured I had to continue on and kill Vidi.
Good thing you did. Yeah, no, that's been just, guys, this was a lot of fun to watch. Seriously, go back and give this thing a view, because wow, ton of fun. And anybody who is watching this, please go ahead and give these guys a follow. They that was just an absolute blast to be a part of there.
Yeah, it was super fun to play, and thanks Dazed and Mercer for doing the comms, and Yoinker's wife for tracking, and Carito for helping us set it up from the SG Helper side, and everyone else who helps make these run. It was funny that Etium and I were thinking exactly the same thing after we found bows at our respective pendant dungeons. It was the same thing for me. If I find hookshot, I'm noping out. If I find bow, I'm full clearing it. That's really, I guess it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys get to this level for a reason.
Yeah. Did you know about Eastern after the myths as well? I'm assuming you did.
No, I got the second item.
I was telling myself if the hookshot was the second item in Eastern Palace, I just wasn't going to finish the seed.
Yeah, I thought about noping out, but I was just like, I can't. I just hope it's not in the big key chest.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was a pretty fun, like, Ambrosia seed from like a troll standpoint, because you get the hint that the boots are on Dark Death Mountain, on Death Mountain, and then we both sequence braked it, found the hammer, and I'm thinking, oh great, I'm gonna get the boots for sure, and of course the first thing I see is the boots sitting on the floating island, and I'm thinking, I'm not gonna be getting the boots for a while. But then like Skullwoods was really a really good dungeon for this mode. Pod worked out really well for me going there without the bow. I was able to get all 4 items without even touching the bow side, which was really nice, because I was worried about, like, I could have sequence broke it with a fairy, and that just would have taken too long, and I wasn't going to mimic it, not at that point in the seed.
I actually lost a little bit of time in Skullwoods because I forgot to grab the pot key before going to Mothula.
Oh, oof.
I had to go back for that.
I lost some time in Tower of Hera because I forgot I picked up the hammer, and I accidentally got him into the rage mode, and then he knocked me off, and I was very annoyed with myself after going through the basement to get the big key too, which I was sort of annoyed that I made that choice at the time, but there's 0 chance I was finding the hookshot before I cleared Hera in this one retrospectively, so I don't feel so bad about that choice anymore.
Yeah, no, yeah, GG's to you both there. This was just a blast. Absolutely a blast to watch here. And we got got a whole bunch of other races coming up ahead here. Do you guys know who's running for week 4 for you? Not week 4, but match number 4 for you guys.
I think we're going with Dante.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a rematch, Dante versus Megawatt, so rematch of game 2.
Just lost Frostbite there, but he's back.
I clicked on a different channel when I was trying to scroll through my Discord to figure out if that's what we're doing. But yeah, it looks like probably if it goes to game 5, it's probably going to be Nep versus Jet. So Etium and I got our scrap out, it looks like now, and now we just get to sit back and catcall and trash talk each other for the rest of the week. So
yeah, should be exciting.
Super fun.
Sucks to be it down. You know, we're coming up to our elimination match, but I believe in Dante.
Oh yeah, he's super good runner, and I believe in Megawatt. And then inevitably, I feel like you guys took us last year. It's our turn this year. Come on, don't be greedy, man. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are awesome, and I'm gonna step out. It was a super fun one to play, and I know I'm not gonna watch it back because I never watch my own runs back because I find it too cringeworthy. But I take your word.
I always watch them back.
I can't do it, man. I know in my brain where I screw up, and it's like I'm just gonna fast forward through Tower of Terror if I watch it back. But again, GG's EDM, great job, buddy.
Yeah, GG's, and I'm just gonna echo the comments he said about thanks to Dazed and Mercer for doing the commentary and Yoinker's wife for the tracking.
Yeah, and with that, then that's going to be pretty much it for us, I think, today. Keep a lookout on the schedule for Game 4 between these two teams. Looks like now that I can actually calm down for a minute, I can get this right. The Titans Mitts are going to be able to choose the mode here, and the Fendrana Drifters there will be able to veto one of the choices that they make. So, like, maybe they're going to veto Fast Ganon, or maybe veto all dungeons or something like that. So gonna have an interesting matchup here for Game 4 whenever we get that on schedule.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look forward to catching that one. All of the teams left in the tournament, in the league at this point, are really good, so it's a lot of fun watching them at this point.
Definitely. Now, over for the rest of the day, we've got 2 more races here. If you're looking for a couple more rando, over on Speed Gaming 6, there is a match between Weighty Words and Pretty Wong over there. That's the Pug Trio and Clown Parade match there. I think that is, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say they are tied. No, it's Clown Parade is up 2-0 on Pug Trio. So Pug Trio is fighting for their life in that match today. Starting over on Speed Gaming here, right about probably about 5 minutes ago, there was the Double Dippers and CLW match there with Moogle Charm and Swerve going for their respective teams. That should be on the Speed Gaming, just the Speed Gaming main channel there. Couple of other things going on. There's some SMZ3 matches over on Speed Gaming 5 and Speed Gaming 4, if that's something you're into. Other than that, yeah, please give the Speed Gaming Network channels here a follow here. If you're looking to volunteer and help out, get involved with the Discord, and people can point you in the right directions here. We're all friendly. And yeah, other than that, again, big thank you to Yoinker's wife. Big thank you to my co-com Mercer here. I've been Dazed Cloud, and I'm going to let you have the last word there.
Good night, everybody, and enjoy whatever other matches you're able to watch.